Welcome to this episode of Scottish Football Matters with me, Lorenzo, and my good friend Murray.
Hello.
Tonight we're going to be talking about the Euro ties last night, and we'll also preview this weekend's SPFL Premiership matches. How you doing, mate? How was last night for you?
Uh, Probably about as good as it was for you. It was utterly terrible.
Oh,
But we'll do
shocking.
it all individually. But I think we should start with Aberdeen because um, they probably put up the best fight out of the three of us.
Yep.
Um, what I would say is that definite penalty. Get you started off. That was a Stonewall penalty. I
Mm.
feel like Aberdeen needed the first goal to have a good chance. They had
Yep.
chances to build on it, but it didn't really happen for them. And then obviously, once Shakhtar got back into it, one each, 2-1, 3-1. Aberdeen did put up a bit of a fight and made it close, at 3-2. And, wouldn't really say they had great chances to equalise, but they, almost chances. But I think it's a good start for them in terms of being competitive. Um,
Yep.
but obviously, the big thing for them is can they take that into the game against Dundee on Sunday? Because
Hmm.
obviously, I think out of the obviously all the managers that are under pressure, he's under the most pressure, and you would say that if they don't get anything off Dundee, or what I would say is even if they get a draw, but see if they don't score again, like because they haven't really scored the rest of it, have they? Then I would worry about him keeping his job
Hmm. Could be
after
away.
the transfer window. But if we go into the early game, I think there's a lot of talking points in the Celtic one, and what I would say is obviously I'll let you run through it because you obviously would have had a bit more to say about it, but I couldn't have any gripes with the result. I thought Braga were the better team. Um, in general, I just thought they moved the ball. Well, I thought up until the goal, Celtic was a better team.
Mm.
And then when Braga
Yeah.
scored, it's a Michael error. It's a good shot, but it's a
Mm.
goalkeeping error.
That
And
is.
then I felt they dominated the game until half time. And then obviously Celtic scored, which to me should have been a legitimate goal.
Yep.
I never really felt that Celtic recovered from that. Now there was individuals who had good games, and I'll mention them.
Hmm.
So I thought
Yeah.
Donovan was good in the first half. I thought Sarachi was good in the second half, and I thought Konecki was good through the whole game.
Hmm.
I thought Scales was good. I thought
Yep.
Iheanacho was good,
Aye.
and that,
Hmm.
that's where it ends because
Yeah.
I thought Maeda was hopeless. I thought
McGregor. I thought McGregor was
McGregor
was rotten.
was
Yeah.
abysmal, but I've said this for a while. McGregor's not good enough to play a single holding midfielder himself. He needs somebody next to him.
Yeah.
Rogers is, I mean, they talk about Russell Martin being unflexible. Rogers is
He
just as bad.
he
He
needs to change his
refuses to
formation.
change it. And if Celtic are going to be any success in Europa League, they need to play two holding and one in front. Now, I think the one in front, you can, make a pick whether it's Negrin or Hitati. It
Yeah.
could be either, right? But he has to play, whether it's Engels or McCown, he has to play one of them next to McGregor because McGregor isn't good enough to do it all on his own.
Hmm.
Now, a young fella like
100%.
Braxton isn't even good enough to do it on his
Hmm.
own. He needs two in that sort of double pivot. But moving away from that, I thought Carter Vickers was poor, as poor
Hmm.
as I've seen him.
Yeah.
Tierney just looks, well, it looks exactly what I expected he was going to look like. Watered down, not as good version of what he was before, because injuries have obviously taken a toll, and
Hmm.
doesn't one of his, let's put it this way, his main strength was his actual fitness and his energy and his, you know, once his body went,
Yeah.
that was all he had. Because he wasn't,
Mm.
let's be honest, let's not call us, that would be disparaging, but let's not be saying he's a brilliant footballer. He's not. He was never
That
like a
happens to everybody.
skillful player.
Eventually, it catches up with you.
But he's 28 or whatever, isn't he? So, I mean, it shouldn't be happening at his age, but the injuries
I
have just
know.
taken such a toll.
I know.
And I thought Bernardo didn't step up in the way that I thought he would, getting a good chance against his You
I
know,
feel
it could
sorry.
be,
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Bernardo because
you
Bernardo
can't
hasn't
judge him
played
on
a lot
one
of
game.
football.
Aye. But there was one similarity that I'd noticed last night, and we will go on to Rangers, but we are very similar in that we're so reliant on our left wingers pulling us out of trouble. Now, if Konecki doesn't do anything, no one does anything. If Kasama doesn't do anything, no one else does anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not, I'm not saying that you're quite as bad as us, but there's a similarity there that if that plan A doesn't work, then not a lot else backing up.
See the
And what, uh,
see the goal that Celtic scored.
yeah, I mean,
For me, how they can come to that conclusion that that's a handball, I don't know. I mean, I've seen it from every different angle that they showed it from,
there's
and
one angle
apparently,
that I've
apparently they
seen.
took apparently they took the decision from the linesman. They didn't actually take
Yeah,
it from VAR.
the one angle that I've seen, and this is such a small thing, it looks like it might brush his fingertip, right?
But
That isn't a
it's came off.
handball.
It's came off the other guy. At the end of the day, it's not his
Uh,
fault. If it's
It's
hit
not,
him,
but
it's a
I mean,
ricochet.
let's be honest, though, in Scotland, Lawrence Shankland can pretty much play basketball at Ibrox and get away with it.
But
But
that to me last night was a ricochet. It's a similar idea to what you were saying about the penalty Celtic got at Rugby Park. It's a ricochet.
yeah, I think it's a terrible decision. But UEFA never stand up and admit when they're wrong either. I mean, I'm not getting on to
Total
it.
joke.
Remember last year when
Total joke.
Dessers got that tug in the box and his shirt ripped? They don't say a single thing about it. They never apologise. They never say, look, we got it wrong. That's all you want, though. All you want is to come out and say, do you know what? We got it wrong.
See,
That's
for
fine.
me,
We can accept mistakes. Of course
yeah,
you can, but see this whole silence crap.
yeah.
It
See for
just
me
makes it
though. See for me. See if the goal last night that we got stood, we go and I think we go on and win that game. I think
you
we would
never
have.
know if it
Well,
changes the
well,
game.
the momentum. You think about it
Yeah.
when you get a goal in a game, it gives you momentum.
Cool.
It gives you belief. It gives you confidence.
And what I'll say is, from our previous with Braga, that's always changed the game. I mean, in the two games at Ibrox, we've been like, I think we were 2-0 down to them at one point, and we scored a goal through Hadji, and the game changed. We went on to 1-3-2.
Yeah.
Then there was even another game where, against them, and feel like when you do get one, you can get two. They're that sort of team. But I don't think anyone can have any real gripes at the result. I thought they were the better team.
Of course,
And one thing I would say is, I think Rodgers needs to. I think he's under pressure.
He needs to change his. I think he needs to change his tactics. He needs to change his tactics.
Let's be honest, Rangers are getting lots of criticism for their performances, but Celtics are no better. You've had 4 games in Europe, right? We've had 8, right? You've had 4 games and you've drawn 3 and lost 1, right? You've scored 1 goal, and I know Iheanacho was unlucky last night, right? But you scored 1 goal in 4 games. That's not good enough against the level of teams. Kairat twice, Braga and Red Star. They're not the elite, right? They are decent teams, right? We're not saying that they're cannon fodder, right? We're not, but they're not the top level. And I know we've only conceded 3 goals, right, in 4 games, which isn't bad. But to score 1, Celtic, who are predominantly an attacking team, it's terrible. And see, Rangers, I mean, we'll compare. We've played 8 games. We've scored 8 goals. It's terrible.
Hi.
We've conceded 15.
I mean, I was watching. I was watching today. I watched a bit of the Paul John Dykes Celtic State of Mind, the Accent podcast, and he was saying basically that he was talking. I think Jim Orr was on it with him, and they were talking about because Jim had watched the Rangers game last night as well, and he said Jim said he quite liked the way that Rangers set up their attack, and Paul John basically spoke about the players that Rangers have got. I think he mentioned Miovski, he mentioned Asgard, he mentioned Raskan, and somebody else. I can't remember the other player, but he said if we did I mention Miovski? Did I mention him?
Yeah.
Right. Well, they 3 plus another one. I can't remember the other one, but Paul John said that if Celtic had 4 players, and for us earlier this summer, if we'd assigned day players, if we had day ones, we would have we would have we would have beat Kairat Almaty with their players.
It's difficult because I don't think the players are exactly shining for us either. But you
No,
can tell
but
there's players in there, but,
aye.
But then I think they're getting stifled by Russell Martin's tactics. I think they are good players.
Maybe if they had a different manager, it'd be a different
the
outcome.
only time those players have been able to shine is when we've been like 2-0 down and the tactics are out the window and you just pump it forward. But I think with Celtic, obviously the decision was terrible, the VAR, but I didn't think they deserved anything from the game in terms of
No, but if
the
the goal
way they
had
moved
stood,
the
I think
ball.
we probably would have got something out of the game if
It
the
could
goal
have
had
done,
stood.
but I think it was a bit like Rangers last week with the red card. It was a red card, but you can look back and go, I think we'd have got something if we hadn't got the red card. And you can
Mm-hmm.
always look that way and go, but the facts are that, they just didn't happen for Celtic. But I think Casper Schmeichel needs to up it because not just, you can all make a goalkeeping error, right? That can happen, but what his distribution was terrible the whole night.
Some of his passing last night was ridiculous.
Yeah, whereas you don't mind a keeper. Like, I mean, we've all seen like top goalies like Boric, Alan McGregor back in the day. They all make a clanger from time to time, right?
Yep.
But the good keepers, they let it go and they move on and they keep going. And
I like Schmeichel. I like Schmeichel, but
at fault for the Rangers' first goal in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it was at fault because there was so much wrong with it, but he didn't cover himself in glory.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, he makes 6 or 7 saves, so you can kind of go, fair enough. He could have done better, but he did really well at the rest of the game. But I don't think that Michael had a good game at all.
I'd be inclined to maybe start giving Sinisillo a chance.
Yeah.
Aye.
But if we want the Rangers, I'm just going to be totally harsh here. Fucking schoolboy defending. And by the way, for Russell Martin to come out and tell us this is a mentality issue.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. How can you still be talking about mentality in October? I mean, the mentality issue should be sorted out in pre-season or at the beginning of the season.
The mentality of James Tavernier, Jack Butland, Nico Raskin. Did anyone question it over the last 5 years? Not so much Butland, the 2 years. Did anyone question it in European nights when they were winning?
No.
We might have questioned it domestically. I think that's a fair point. You could question it didn't quite have the mentality when they were
European games.
Favourites. I can't question their mentality in European nights. They've always been great. Russell Martin has lost 5 in a row in Europe.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Bruges, fair enough, right? But Victoria Pilsen weren't a good side. And I know we were 3-0 up, so you can say.
To be honest, you were lucky. I thought you were lucky against Panathinaikos because if Panathinaikos had their shooting boots on, they probably would have beat you.
It wasn't for Butland. Butland had one of those nights where he saved everything. But the two against Genk and Sturmgratz, they're not even good. You'll see that yourself in Celtic. They're not a good team. They've got a couple of nice
missed about 4 sitters plus a penalty as well.
I mean, they've got a good wee player. There's Jordan that scored the second goal, which is a good player. He'll cause you some problems. But Celtic should be able to beat them by a couple. But
even going back to the Celtic game, sorry to say this, but the boy Lagerbielke that played with Celtic, I thought he had a good game last night for them. He was great. And we get rid of him.
Can do when he gets game.
But you get rid of him, and yet overrated him. But I thought he played really well last night.
And by the way, how good they are in that Braga team in terms of they can all play football, but you never seen them doing that at Celtic. Being so comfortable on the ball.
That's
right. Was the thing I noticed. I was like, I know that. I mean, I remember Dessers sort of catching him when he dilly-dallied, and then he's got a free kick, which was a bit soft. But there was a few times he looked ropey on the ball, but last night he didn't look ropey at all at any point. But no, I think if we go back to Rangers, the 2 goals are just schoolboy. The first one, it's our throw-in, and John Shooter does the right thing because he shows for him, right? So he comes out, if the right back's taking the throw in, the right centre back moves over to become an option, right? What happens there? And I think you've got to blame tactics, but you have to also look at the players. Cornelius, the left centre back, doesn't move over with Suter. So there's a massive gap. So when Tav throws it, they lose the ball. There's a gaping gap between a right centre back and left centre back. And the ball just goes right through them. Goal, right? Now, to me,
but the first goal, Murray, the first goal for Sturm Graz last night, it looked as if the guy that actually scored the goal looked as if he had loads of time on the ball. It looks as if there was nobody there in the box when he took it around, and then he actually had time to hit a shot. Whereas all these defenders were in the box and they never even challenged them.
But it all started. But I think Suter was too scared to make a challenge at first because he got goal side. So that one I think is fine, right? Because you don't want to go with a penalty. But if your left centre back's not coming over then it's organisational. It really is that, because
Yeah.
a good team moves as one, right? We all know that. That's like Arsenal, right? Jesus, oh, right, they move as one, right? Even this new Arsenal, Arteta's one, they all defend as one. We didn't defend as one. And if we go into the second goal, oh, I mean, see if that was happening on the playground, you'd be embarrassed.
Schoolboy stuff, eh?
It was that bad. I can't even really blame Barry, because I know some will say that's his man and he runs off him, but he runs off the whole team.
Aye.
It's horrible. And Butland, honestly, Butland's face when that ball's going in the net, he looks deflated, like I want to punch every one of you and the manager.
Did he not kick the goalpost? Was that the goal he
That's
kicked the goalpost with, or was that the first one? I can't remember. He kicked the goalpost.
That's a set up this year, though. How high is that line for a free kick? You shouldn't be that bad. Now, what I would say is, we sometimes don't give managers credit when they're so shit, like Russell Martin. But he did change it, right? And he actually put Cornelius left back, Suter left centre back, Tav right centre back, and brought on Aarons. We went to a back four. We stayed at the back four, but we did look better in that. But we also brought on Miovski and went 2 up.
Yeah.
Now I thought we looked better with the 2 up, but did we just?
He's nearly actually stole a point, to be honest.
To be honest, I actually thought we probably deserved the point on the basis of the game, because Rangers were so dominant in the second half. Like, you couldn't begrudge it if we got it. I mean, Chamiti hit the bar. There was a few chances. Keeper made a great save for Suter. It was, in Gassama. I mean, see if Gassama scores that goal in any other night, you're just going wild, aren't you? Because see, the first touch is just stunning. He's a great player. The keeper could probably do better at the finish, but the touch and turn and then shot is brilliant. He's a quality player, there's no doubt about that. But if you're in a Russell Martin team, it's fucking pointless. You could be Zidane in that team. But if your setup's that bad, Rangers need to score 3 goals to win a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
as far as I'm concerned, see European football, for me, to be honest, I could see it far enough, to be honest. I don't think we're good enough for Europe. Celtic, in my opinion, aren't good enough for European competition this season.
You are, though, and you should be.
I know.
All I'm saying is, Karabag are in the Champions League and have won 2 out of 2.
And you've got Kairat Almaty in there as well.
Yeah. There's teams in the Europa League, right, who have started with it. Like Stimrats have got 3 points. They're not better than Rangers and Celtic. But I'm looking because the managers are not setting us up properly.
I'm looking at the game last night, Murray. I'm looking at the game last night. Obviously, Celtic are playing them next, Stimrats, and I'm thinking, are we actually going to beat them? Because they actually done all right against you.
Just
don't know.
That's honest. It means, but if Russell Martin's team play Braga, right, because that's a game you can compare. Because I don't always think it's great to compare.
Use a blaming Russell Martin, and our Celtic supporters are blaming the board.
The thing is, that's gonna flip though. I think over the next month, because if our board don't get rid of Russell Martin, the attentions are going to turn to him. And if you keep playing pish, the attentions are going to turn to the manager. It's going to go. The other way.
I'm like that about the whole situation with the board and all that. I mean, fair enough, they are to blame, but Rodgers doesn't escape full blame, some of the blame either, because he's got the ability to change the game, change his tactics, and also play with 2 strikers, go do something different.
How many times have we heard that Rodgers is an elite level manager? What a lot of shite that is.
He's a good manager. He was a good manager at one point.
This is a guy who's, apart from his Celtic achievements, the biggest achievement he's ever had, winning the FA Cup.
Well, Leicester.
Eric Ten Hag won one, and he's right.
I know.
Did Solskjaer win one?
But when he came at Celtic at first, his tactics were really good. But I don't know what's going on this time. I really don't get it.
Tactics in Europe have never been good. Ever.
No. But domestically, when they first came, they were really good.
They moved the ball quickly. They don't do that anymore.
No.
And you can't tell me.
With a far better team when he was here the first time.
Yeah, but he built it. He still built a team. He's still a shite team that he built because he bought good players like Sinclair and Belly.
That's right. Edwards.
Good players like Brown and Beaton. But that was a big thing that people are forgetting. He always had 2 at the base. I remember in European nights he's played Brown and Beaton.
Yeah.
Simple. Now it's like, Callum McGregor can do it his own. He's old now, but and he's showing his age. You can't get about the fuck. See when the number 10 shoots from 30 yards out, where you'd expect Callum McGregor to be. You know,
Aye.
Callum McGregor was kicking about in the right back position.
See the
Trying to
goal.
look after Donovan. Let the boy defend. The boy's
See
all
the
right.
goal that Braga. See the goal. The first goal Braga scored last night. The shot that guy
Yeah.
hit. That he basically just took a chance and he hit a shot. I'd like to see more Celtic players do that. You know, in
Yeah,
domestic
also,
games
took a
and
chance
European
and took
games.
a shot because he had 15 yards of no one about him.
I know.
He could have drawn a big
That
circle around him.
wasn't just that last night. There was loads
Yeah.
of times in the game last night where they had loads of room and
Mm.
time on the ball last night.
But honestly, I think especially Rangers, maybe not your manager, but our manager's ruining our reputation in Europe, which we have done brilliant
No,
over
it's
the
not that
last.
as well. The coefficient's going to take a battering, and next season it's going to be 3 qualifiers, and who knows after that?
Yeah, but Rangers have, and let's be honest, Rangers have brought that coefficient up to a decent level, but we're single-handedly putting it back down again.
Ah, well, that's it.
With this
That's it.
manager.
But
Because
then
let's be honest, you
we
can
also need
criticise
other teams.
Or
Need the other
Clement,
teams to
or
step up.
you do, but like it has to always be on the big two in
I
terms
know
of
that,
the
but
big results at
but
this
you
stage.
still need other teams in the league to actually get into European
We
competition and
need
make
other
a fist
teams.
at it.
Yeah, we need other teams to start. We need to start getting 4 teams in the
Even into
right.
the conference,
Uh,
they need to get into the conference. I don't know how
Hibs
Hibs
were
couldn't get
unlucky
in
this
there.
year. Hibs were unlucky.
They were, but
Penalty shootouts and extra. They were unlucky.
aye.
But I won't say that we won't be unlucky if they don't learn from it, though. If they
No,
don't
well,
learn from it by
but they
qualifying
never,
next year,
the teams never do though. I mean, when they get back into Europe, it's the same
I think the big problem is
nonsense to get
it's
put out in
never the same
qualifiers again.
teams, though. Yeah, it's never the same teams, though. So it's like you get
Well,
Dundee United this year, and then if they don't make Europe for another 2 years, it's hard to judge because
I know
it's no different. It's the same, no the same team.
it's not the
Whereas if
same.
Hibs,
It's always the same. There's no all the same teams that
yeah,
make it. Apart from Celtic and
no,
Rangers, the other teams don't make it regularly into Europe.
but I mean, I dread European nights now, and I used to love European nights because Rangers were always good at holding their own.
Mm.
I mean, even Beale was better in Europe. I mean, Beale beat Betis. People forget that. He beat
Well,
Servette.
I still think
Can
Giovanni
you
Van
honestly
Bronckhorst
tell
was a
me
good
that?
manager, and you get rid of him.
We know that, but like, can you honestly tell me that Genk and Sturmgratz are any better than Servette or Real Betis, who Beale
No,
beat
no.
with a worse team? It's a good team.
Mm-hmm.
It's fuck, it's just terrible. But so we move on to the weekend because
Yeah, we'll review the
I
games.
think I could rage about Europe for
It's not going
until
to. I mean, we
next
could talk about it
week.
all night, but it's not going to change the result. It's not going to change anything.
So there's a big full match card. I think there's 3 tomorrow, 3 Sunday because
Yep.
of Europe, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll start with tomorrow's fixtures. The first one I've got here is Kilmarnock St Mum. How do you see this? I've put down a 2-1 Kilmarnock win. Now, I know that seems strange because St Mum went there and won in the cup. But you know how my thing about when you play each other twice in close succession, it's usually a different result. And I think Kelly might take a lot for that last week winning it Canada.
I think so as well, but I still think Stephen Robinson has got the tactics and the know-how, and I still think St Mirren will win. I think St Mirren will win
He
that.
might have his eye on that Aberdeen job.
Possibly,
Yeah.
but I think St Mirren will win tomorrow. I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 Kelly. Next one I'll go is Dundee United Livy. I expect Dundee United to bounce back from their defeat. I didn't expect them to lose last week. And I've got to admit, I wasn't really impressed with Livingston against Rangers. I don't think they tried. It's nice to see them playing football, right? It is. But I don't think their football's good enough.
No.
So I think Dundee United 3-1.
I think Dundee United 2-0. They'll win, but it'll be 2-0. Clean sheet.
Let's go to probably the biggest match of the weekend. Hearts Hibs.
Aye, the derby.
I think I'm going to go 2 each, and I'll tell you why. Hearts are on a roll, right? You can't argue that. Right? They're on a good roll. Hibs are better away from home.
For one, I'm hoping it's a Hearts defeat or a draw because obviously I want my team to get back up there.
See if it was at Easter Road, I think it's a Hearts banker.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's at Tynecastle and the way Hibs set up on the counter, but you've seen them. I know they didn't do much at Celtic Park last week, but we've seen them in European nights and I think that's maybe more comparable. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just a good team when they set up with a three at the back. They're hard to beat. Yeah, I think it's going to be a goal fest. I really do. I'm going to
What,
go
three
two,
each? You think a three each then?
two,
Do you think that?
two each. I went two.
Two each.
Yeah,
I'll go for a Hibs victory, 2-1.
yeah. I could see
There
it,
you go.
but I could also see a Hearts one too. Do you know what I mean? I think they'll both.
Controversial Hibs victory.
Yeah, sure it is. Let's go with Aberdeen Dundee. The Sunday game is massive for Keelan. If he draws or loses, he's out. If
Let's
he
be
wins,
honest, it should beat Dundee. I mean, Dundee have been all right this season, but they've not been great.
Rangers should have beat Dundee, but they
I know,
didn't. So,
I know.
I'm going to go 1-0 Aberdeen, but I think it's going to be like a penalty or something. Just, that, like an own goal, just something that they find a way to win and maybe they can kick on after it.
I think Aberdeen will get a penalty, but I think it'll be to win the game. I think they'll do 1-2-1. Because I still
Yeah.
think Dundee will score.
Right. Falkirk Rangers. Again, just like Jenny Keelan, Russell Martin. I think it's draw, lose, out, win. He probably gets
If he
more
wins, it's
domestic
a stay
games,
of it's a stay of execution again, isn't it?
but he probably just gets more domestic games until he messes up domestically again.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I think you can argue that the poor performances for Rangers have been in Europe recently. Because if you look at it since the international break, we've lost twice in Europe. We've beat Hibs, we've beat Livingston, and that Hearts game that we lost, there was controversy all over that, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Rangers weren't
Yeah.
good enough on the day. I'm not saying that
No.
we were robbed in it, Matt, but there were certainly moments that didn't play out fair on the day.
Yeah.
With LeBron James scoring a double. Basketball skills. And let's be honest, it was never a penalty, and Rangers got a goal disallowed. And there's lots of things that went Hearts' way, which I think happens when a manager's under pressure. But on to Falkirk Rangers, I think they'll do what they did against Livingston. They'll find a way to win 2-1. I don't think they'll be good. I don't think they'll be entertaining. I think Falkirk will be the better team. But I think Rangers will have a 10-15 minute spell where they're good. And their 10-15 minute spell will probably get them 2 goals. Whereas Falkirk's 75-minute spell will only get them 1, in my opinion. That's just how I see it going. In a way that Falkirk will leave that game going, how the hell did we not win that?
Well, I think the way the game's been going for Rangers this season, I think it's a possibility that it will finish 1-1, one each.
You usually do. But, right, on to Celtic Motherwell, because see your score there. That's exactly what I'm predicting. Now, I would not normally ever take Celtic to drop points in 2 league games in a row. I just think Motherwell are all wrong for Celtic right now.
It's probably because of the European game. Celtic need to bounce back for the European result as well.
They do, because you'd be going into an international break on the back of 4 games without a win.
Yeah.
Because the Red
Can he have that?
The Celtic,
Can he have that?
Hibs draw, the Braga defeat, and if it was another draw, which I think it will be. But either way, see Celtic do, man. I still only see it by the odd goal. I can't see Celtic going in here and winning 3-0 on it, Mark, because Motherwell aren't cannon fodder. Motherwell are an organised.
No, they are good. They're good. They're good.
And who pumped Motherwell this year? No, they've not even been beaten, have they?
Nobody, but
they're unbeaten.
After it might be.
They might have only won 1 game, but I think they've drawn the rest of them.
What do you think the score will be then?
1 each.
1 each.
I don't think Celtic have got goals, and that's the problem right now, is that if Kelechi doesn't score a worldie or Iheanacho doesn't get the ball in the net, then I'm not seeing where the goals are coming from. I know Maeda can pop up with wee moments, but beyond that, you bring on Forrest and Yang and.
Well, I'm hoping that things can click at the weekend. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure it will happen, but if it clicks, and I'm hoping it does, I think Celtic, if they play well enough at Celtic Park, should win 2-0. I'll say 2-0.
I find it difficult to see Celtic scoring 2.
Do you know I'm going to go? Do you know I'm going to go? I'm actually going to predict the goal scorers for a 2-0 win as well. I'm going to go Tenecte and Iheanacho. There you go.
If I'm your predicting goal scorers, I'll say that the Rangers.
That'll be a Hugh Keevins prediction for me, though.
who goal scorers be, and well, only defenders score for Rangers, don't they?
Aye.
No, but I'm
Cornelius,
actually going to
Cornelius
go.
might get a goal, eh?
No, I don't know. I'm going to go Miovski to score,
Right.
and I'm going to go Chermiti. I'm going to go strikers because I actually thought, you know what? I know people criticise the big guy because he's got a big price tag and he looks cumbersome, but I thought he looked decent last night at times. But he needs help. He needs another body up there, and I
Aye.
think he'd be all right in it too. I do because I think he's quite an awkward big guy. Like he puts himself a bit though, and he was
I
only a
wish we
few
would.
weeks off.
I wish we would go with two up front sometimes. I really do.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll James will take Miovski and Chermiti. I think I'd love to say Asgard and Chermiti because there's not two players that need a goal more than they do. Because I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to see that if they got confident, can they kick
Aye.
on? But yeah. But I will see where it goes. But I think we'll leave it there,
Yep.
and I will reconvene on Monday.
Yes.
Cool. Right, I'll see you then.
Right. Cheers, mate. Thanks
Right,
again.
bye.
Bye bye.